Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm back for another video this October. This time we are talking about the final season of the Twilight Zone, my top 10 favorite episodes from season 5. If you guys are watching this video, you likely have seen one of my Twilight Zone videos before, so let's just get right into the list, starting at number 10, the Bewitching Pool. Two children escape their bickering parents through a portal in the bottom of their swimming pool to a magical land watched over by a kindly old woman the children call Aunt T. I'm starting off this list with not only the series finale, but also an episode that not a lot of people generally give a lot of praise to. In fact, on IMDb, it's sitting with a 6.4 out of 10 average rating. I like it for its story, but I absolutely hate what they did with the dubbing. It's great seeing Mary Badham in the Twilight Zone. She's best known for playing Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird, but her voice is absolutely ruined by the dubbing. Supposedly, all of her outside shots filmed near the swimming pool were ruined because of some sort of construction happening nearby the set that day, and so they had to do reshoots, and she had already flown back to Alabama and she was unable to make it back, and so they chose to have an actress in her 40s redub the voice of a young girl. It does not work at all, and it is very clear that it doesn't fit. I imagine the low ratings on IMDb are for the awful dubbing job. However, I still really like the story in this one, and I like the idea of two kids just being able to escape reality, the reality that they don't like. Number 12 looks just like you. Dr. Seuss once wrote, "Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you." This episode takes that quote and just shoves it in the garbage can. In a future society, everyone must undergo an operation at age 19 to become beautiful and conform to society. This episode doesn't throw any jump scares at you, or there are no creepy looking monsters. However, the thought of society wanting you to be the same as everyone else is scarier than most movies out there. This episode also features a To Kill a Mockingbird alumni, Colin Wilcox Paxton. The Jeopardy room is an escape room made in the 60s. A defector is trapped in a hotel room and given 3 hours to find a hidden bomb. I loved the suspense of this episode, and it really is suspense in every sense of the word. Alfred Hitchcock once said suspense is different than surprise because with suspense, you are aware of something that you wouldn't know if it was something surprising. In this case, we are aware that there is a bomb placed somewhere in this room, and if this character does anything wrong at any moment, the room could just blow up, and that's his life right there. The episode also stars Oscar-winning actor Martin Landau, who I most know from Ed Wood in North by Northwest. He is great in this episode, and his performance is perfectly in line with the suspenseful plot. A Kind of Stopwatch is a simple episode. A man is given a stopwatch that halts time. To all my Community fans, Leonard stars in this episode. You know, Leonard. It's just so fun to see him at such a young age here. He even has the same facial expressions as he does years later when he was on Community. This episode just has classic Twilight Zone material with a very interesting premise and an unfortunate ending for the character. But I mostly love this episode for Richard Erdman, aka Leonard. I am the night, color me black. The sun doesn't rise on a small town where an execution is scheduled to take place. This is that Twilight Zone episode that deserves to be in the conversations of the deep episodes of the show, or the ahead of their time episodes of the show. It has a lot to say about hatred, bias, and unfairness. Just let the episode play out and see for yourself. There's nothing more to say than that. The encounter. So this episode takes place after World War II in Hawaii. There are two men of once opposing races stuck in an attic full of war trophies, including a samurai sword waiting to dutifully avenge its slain master. George Takei gives a great performance in this episode, as well as his opposing actor, Neville Brand. I mostly liked the way this episode just unfolded as it went along. By the time it ended, I was kind of left speechless. Some have cited a dislike for this episode, but I can't really see why. I think it hits on all the topics that Twilight Zone is known for, and it does it in a very well done and safe way. Living doll. A frustrated father battles with his stepdaughter's talking doll, whose vocabulary includes such phrases as "I hate you" and "I'm going to kill you." Off to a great start. Fun fact, the same lady who voices this doll is the one who does the awful dubbing in Bewitching Pool. Anyways, I love this episode. To watch this father, who honestly is just an absolute jerk, slowly go insane is highly amusing. I love how Talkie Tina interacts with Eric in so many ways. She is so blunt, and she doesn't hold back on anything she wants to say, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything either. She just says it how it is. In Praise of Pip. A wearied bookie learning of his grown soldier son Pip dying in South Vietnam gets to spend one last delightful hour with a 10-year-old version of him at an amusement park. Here we've got an emotional episode with Twilight Zone veterans Jack Klugman and Billy Mumy. I just really appreciate the story behind this one. Following a dad who knows that he has messed up in life, sacrificed so much for his son, is just very heartwarming. The places he visits and the things that he sees in this episode are just so synonymous with what you would expect from the Twilight Zone. This is the episode you watch to just have your heart touched, and if you're feeling up to it, watch it with your dad. In The Masks, wealthy Jason Foster is dying, and he invites invites his greedy heirs to a Mardi Gras party where they must wear the masks he specifically had made for them, or else be cut off from their inheritance. One thing the Twilight Zone seems to never shy away from is calling out the bad guy. And the bad guy can mean a number of things. It could be someone who is a jerk, a bully, a murderer, a liar, a cheater, someone who's just simply selfish. The Masks paints many of these characteristics, but it mostly paints selfishness. Beauty on the outside is not everything, and this episode's satisfying conclusion proves that point. And my favorite episode of season 5, Nightmare at 20,000 feet. Come on, it had to be number 1. Nightmare at 20,000 feet puts you on the plane with William Shatner. You see what he sees, and you hope that others see what he sees as well. You sympathize with him throughout the whole episode and just hope that it has a happy ending. It's the classic boy who cried wolf in such an interesting dimension. Everything just fits perfectly in this episode. I love William Shatner's performance. He gives an unforgettable performance as the, look, I know I have an insane background, but please believe me this time, type of character. He has everything going against him. He has this background where no one should believe him, and on top of that, he can never prove anything to anyone on the plane. The gremlin itself is creepy looking, but at the same time, you just have to appreciate how ambitious the Twilight Zone was with the design of this monster. Season 5 was a great season of the Twilight Zone, had many episodes that I just loved, and many of the most iconic episodes of the entire TV show. If you've been following along with my Twilight Zone journey, I'm really excited to announce that coming this month, I will be ranking all 156 episodes of the show, and so keep a lookout for that on the channel. But until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day.